They assume the opposite.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I went and took a pee with my micro penis.
Again,
They're going to
it
buy
doesn't
it.
work the same. They're not going to buy that. Then they're going to say, like, either way you
So he's
think about
admitting
it,
to a micro
either way you think about it, you have a small dick.
So I went and took a pee with my super average penis.
Then they're going to think you're overcompensating. You still have a small dick.
Well, what if he says he has a vagina?
So I went and took a pee
Then
with
they're
my
going to
innie.
assume that you're overcompensating. You have a small dick.
So everyone just assumes
So I went and
everybody's
took
got
a pee out my anus.
So you had diarrhea.
What you're telling me here, Stefan, is everybody just assumes that everybody else has a small penis.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm getting to.
Except for Stefan, who has a giant penis.
9-inch lap hog.
I have no comment. Now, because I did no comment, you know what everyone assumes?
You
Did
have
he
a
have a
9-inch
giant
lap hog.
penis?
Small.
Oh my
small.
god.
Oh, I assume giant.
No.
Oh. Because you don't want to talk
did
about
you,
it.
Did you learn nothing?
Yes,
You,
obviously.
just have you always assume.
This is incredible. This is someone who's like, I've led you step by step, and you still
Yeah,
failed on
it's
that
like-
last one.
It's like, and then, son, you turn the wrench, and then it starts the car. No, you fucking idiot. Doesn't start the car.
Oh, back to step one. This is a wrench.
This is a wrench.
It starts the car. We're not working on the car, son. This is...
We're building a deck.
What's wrong with that?
I want you to be anorexic. Yeah.
That is not something you want to push on someone.
If we edit that, it can be, I want you.
You know, can we do that? Can I get that?
Can I just get a
Can I
soundbite?
get an audio clip of that?
And
You
wake
clip
up
that?
Have you ever tried
Can you
DMT?
clip that? Man, I love when my caribou elk deer has DMT.
Have you ever rolled with
got it.
Kevin?
I roll with a deer.
I rolled with Kevin one time.
Yeah.
And man, that guy's a monster. He was at the Laugh Factory, and oh fuck,
He didn't even laugh.
No, he didn't even laugh.
Actually, it's
It's a
true.
is it a laugh
And
factory?
have you ever seen Connor live? Fuck, that guy kills. He murders.
This Connor? What is happening?
I mean, he does murder. We saw him shoot 22s into the woods.
We used to do the Laugh Factory together, me and Connor. Oh fuck, have you ever tried DMT?
I think I'm on it right now. Shit doesn't make sense, dude.
Exactly.
Like a boner in class.
Like a boner during an English presentation about Shakespeare.
Shakespeare was so exciting.
You don't have to jizz in your pants while you're doing it. It's just a boner.
In my-
Just in my pants. Just in my pants.
Yeah, all right. So here we are
So
at Connor's lovely cabin.
this is how you guys do it.
Was this
You
the intro?
Yeah, this is the
Just
intro.
That was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of fucked it up. You guys are awful.
I didn't say anything. Why are you looking at me?
Here we are on a
say
boys
shit.
trip. It's rarely
We're missing Matthew because he has COVID.
Yeah, yeah. Rarely
Matt
do we
would've
get the
made
chance
this
to all hang out, and Maddie really wanted to do this, but then he all of a sudden got the COVID. Fucking hell, there's a mosquito here. Last minute and bailed out on us. So here we are, sans Matthew.
Did you notice Jayson does like his podcast voice?
He goes
just
deeper.
changes completely. He goes way deeper.
Can we all go deeper?
Yeah.
No. Just let Jayson do it. I was just pointing it out.
Stefan.
Are you okay there? I think the heat stroke really fried Ray's brain.
Well, look at what's going on over here too. So
No one can look.
I need to bring
Look harder.
something up to our
Our listeners.
10 viewers.
That's
Listeners.
so overestimated.
Attention.
Kaylin
Okay.
and Dan's parents.
Matthew is not at the cabin. Now, Matthew's not at the cabin for one good reason and one good reason only. Matthew got caught with
He's
an
in trouble.
STI and he doesn't want to tell anybody.
Subaru STI.
And so he just made up the COVID to get out of the trip because he's got to go to the States to get his treatment for his crabs.
Where did he get these crabs from? Ashley?
Does Ashley listen to this?
Ashley, I must apologize.
Dan gave him the crabs.
Matthew came to me one night. He was
He
aroused.
came in me one night.
I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around. We should actually genuinely have a topic though. Otherwise, we just kind of ramble. And rambling's it's fun, but no, who wants to listen to rambling?
Yeah, what's the topic,
Isn't that the whole-
buddy Jayson?
Go ahead, Dan.
I actually got a good one. Living within your means.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
We're just gonna ignore the cabin part.
No, we can know.
It's
But
just a setting.
actually, that can apply. That can technically apply, right? Because you don't need a cabin, but it's fucking awesome having one. Because
I'm
it's
used
sweet.
to like your cabin, this cabin here are well and above beyond what I usually think of for a cabin. I'm thinking usually of like this little like shack out in
I don't like it when
the middle of nowhere, and this is like glamping to the extreme.
This is not a shack. For all the viewers out there or listeners, we're in Connor's cabin. Connor, you have a very lovely cabin. You've done a great job. This is my first time on a podcast, so I'm just going to describe it in detail. The oak, is it oak? The cedar is majestic. The countertops chosen allude a bit of humility as well as pure craftsmanship that cannot be matched by any other contractor except the Swedes, because most of it's IKEA.
So when are you sucking his dick tonight?
I'm doing it right now,
So
verbally on a podcast.
the concept of living within your means.
Okay, we got back to the topic.
And Stefan being a brown-nosing piece.
I
of
fucking love how I'm not the one to bring us back. Dan's the one.
We turned off his music and I felt bad. Sorry, I'm sorry, Connor.
Turned off my music. You jerks. I like that music.
All right. Living in your means. What do you want to talk about?
As now a man who has lived in the poverty line for many a moon.
Which is your own choice.
Oh, 100%. I don't know. I don't
Just want to make that clear for everyone.
I don't blame anybody.
No, I'm
It's
just
It's
kidding.
my fucking thing. Anyway, I was thinking about that.
Total
But even with that, and with like, and with,
an asshole, I
and
don't
with
know.
genuine like actual like I don't know, genuine mental issues, I'm still relatively happy living in relative poverty. Like I don't need many things, and I'm still happy.
Define
with that.
poverty.
I living check to check.
That's most of Canadians. That's not poverty.
Oh, fair enough. I guess
Poverty's like you can't make it.
Actually, well then poverty would be what's the? I'm trying to think of the actual pay grades. That's the one they tax. But when you get returns, like I still get returns.
What's your
20?
minimum exemption?
20,000?
20? Connor?
I'm kind of pulling that out of my
You know
ass.
that? What's the minimum exemption?
I want to say
That was like
between
20.
I want to say 15 to 20.
No, it depends on the province. So Saskatchewan, you don't get taxed. They make over 10,000 provincially.
And then federally?
Federal is like 15 or something like that.
So 15%.
Do they?
like
They don't
25.
add them together, right?
Yeah, 25. Yeah.
Oh, they add them.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
No. You don't add them together. It's as you
Oh.
come up in income.
Oh.
So once you hit $10,000 and you start getting taxed by the
So the government
Good
thinks.
thing I don't have 3 accountant brothers.
15, you start taxed by the feds and province.
Yeah, but it's like so the province says, okay, you're making over $10,000, we can start taking your money. Like,
Yes.
fuck off.
Well, no, that's taxes.
I know, but like 10 grand, what do you do? With
Yeah,
that's not getting you anywhere, right?
You're part-time high school student.
Yeah,
That's
you're
like
poverty.
somewhere in that zone.
Oh yeah, I get fair enough. Okay, so fair enough. I misspoke then by poverty, but realistically, in the lower income,
Yeah.
and I'm happy with lower income and living in a basement suite.
Okay, so the only thing with the living paycheck to paycheck is I would assume most of those are paying a mortgage. So at least you're
Or you have
getting
bigger.
equity into your.
No, I was saying that most people live paycheck to paycheck, whether
Right.
it's mortgage, rent.
Yeah, I
It
guess.
seems like when the crisis happened in 2008, like that was part of the biggest part of the problem was that it was everyone living check to check, and then it was like one check missed, and it was the end of the world. Mm-hmm. And it was more people than what we realized. So I just didn't. It wasn't really poverty line. It's like that was normal. That was everyday life for a lot of people.
Yeah, and the exact same thing happened when the COVID. It was like
Yeah,
people are
and
like
it happened again. Exactly.
first check missed
That's-
and they're already freaking
That's
out.
why we had the emergency
the serve.
checks. Well,
Yeah.
not I didn't, but
Some people did.
people who were terminated from their jobs got the checks
Yeah.
because it was like they knew that everyone was living check to check.
Which is
Not
fucked
everyone,
up.
but a lot of people.
It is
Fair
fucked
enough.
up, though.
You paint everyone with a really broad stroke. You know how I don't like broad strokes.
Well, fair enough. I guess I'm not paying everybody. I just said I assume poverty myself. Is
No, not you. I'm saying.
Oh, you looked at me with venom there. I'm like, oh god. But no, but I guess in that sense, like realistically, whereas I like for me at least, I can live relatively happy with little. So I guess like with living your means, like that's within my means.
What's
what I can
that?
do right now.
What's that Netflix thing about minimalism? Isn't there a thing like someone something?
Oh,
That
Marie
makes you-
Kondo.
Makes you happy.
I was gonna say another name, and I'm glad you put the name in first.
Marie Kondo.
'Cause it
She's
was not gonna sound good.
She does what is it, like cleaning up or something like that.
I was gonna say something. Ciao.
And one of her philosophies is
Can you believe that?
minimalistic living. So you want to keep the things around you that make you happy, that
Yeah.
evoke happiness.
That's the one.
Yeah. You gotta hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does this make happy?
Yeah.
Well, I will say, living in we bought a smaller house, and every time we talk about our house, and my family goes, oh yeah, it's a starter house. When you get to a bigger house, and me and Brianna go, oh, no, not when we get to a bigger house. Like, we like this house. Like, oh yeah, well, you'll grow out of this house. You'll grow out of this house. Like, no, like, we want to stay in this house. There's no need to go to a bigger house because we have a basement with a tenant that we don't use. We don't use that space. I don't use the tenant. I know that came off wrong. We have all this space, and everyone keeps telling us how we're going to want a bigger house. We need a bigger house, and it's like, well,
I think it's.
I don't know. I feel like it's okay. You don't need more space.
Yeah, and as long as you define what you feel that you need, I think that's the important thing. Because I know on a previous podcast we talked. Ray wanted to buy a place.
Yes,
right.
I listened to that one.
And
Thanks,
his
bud.
parents and his family was like, "Oh, it's a good like
Good starter.
Yeah, it's a good start. It's a good starter." And that's the mindset that Ray has was this is a starter, right? If he wants to move on up, he still has that option.
Yeah. But actually, in their mindset, they weren't thinking, like my parents specifically, they were thinking like, oh, this is such a small, like a condo. Why would you do that? You got to get a house and blah, blah. And I kept saying, no, this is the starter. Everyone starts with a tiny little shack and slowly moves their way up.
You're basically the opposite of what I was saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you jumped straight in, but yours.
We didn't
It's-
realize we liked what we had until we had it.
Yeah.
We bought my brother's house, and we bought it with that mentality of like, yeah, to buy a house and get some real estate and think, might as well start paying a mortgage and start owning something.
Mm-hmm.
And then we realized how good the area was and how good life was at that location and all the benefits that could be had in the future. We're like, oh, well, shit, it's actually pretty good for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
It just is small. It's 800 and Brianna's gonna kill me. I always mess up 80. I think it's 880, and she's like, it's 850 or the other way. Oh fuck, I always fuck it up. So I'm gonna say 880 square feet. It's small. There's no hallway. There's a square. Like when you walk down, there's like a square and then several
Rooms.
room, bathroom, and that's the absolute. It's all you need. With us right now, we don't use any of that space. So when you start having kids and all that, you got a whole house yet that we haven't used because we haven't been in the basement, and we have the one room as an office, and I don't know, where I play guitar.
That's what I was gonna say. Upstairs, is there another bedroom? Or
Yeah, there's
like
two bedrooms.
Yeah. Okay.
There's bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, living room.
Because that's the thing is, especially like once you have a baby, you don't want to have the baby downstairs. Like it has
No.
to be up there with you.
No,
but you also need a separate room for it to be in.
Yeah,
So-
I totally agree with that.
So
And
you
our,
have that space.
our stairs are fairly steep, and I won't call them what I call those stairs. They're very, very steep. So I don't know if you can read between the lines there, but they're really, really steep. And we won't be using those until much later, until kids are older. If we have kids, when we have kids, you bank on having kids, and you never know. So
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is parents always say, they're like, oh, do you have space for kids? Space for kids. And you go, kids are no longer an absolute. It's a possibility.
not a possibility, but a lot of people can have kids, and it becomes a real sticking point where everyone's always asking like when you're having kids, and it's like, oh, it's actually kind of a dick move to always ask people when they're having kids, because it's like maybe they can have kids, and maybe that really hurts when you're asking them. So I've kind of come to the conclusion that you can't always bank on that. You can think all you want like when we have kids, but it's a lot harder. It affects a lot more people than you realize. So
That's kind of part of the living within your means. You
yeah.
have to factor in a kid and the cost of a kid, which is kind of heartless, but I mean, you got to do it.
Well, yeah, kids cost a lot of money.
I wouldn't say that's heartless. It's logical.
But to some people, it's just like, well, you have a kid because you want to have a kid, and no matter what, you'll make it work. And you go, yeah, but still look at your paychecks and your finances. And
It's okay, Connor.
True.
It's okay. Just make the squeaks. Just make the squeaks.
It's pretty funny, actually. I do enjoy it.
Should have done some James Bond shit down.
Yeah, and I think as long as you feel comfortable in your living arrangement, that's all you can really want, right? Right? Because eventually, at some point, Dan, you might gain the ambition or the drive to say, I want a little bit more, right? Right now, it's perfectly fine, and as long as your basement makes you content, that's all anybody can really hope for you. Once you maybe develop a bit more of a drive and strive for something else.
Feels very underhanded now.
Once you
I
become
was gonna say I'm not gonna say anything, but you were like backhand
I know.
complimenting me.
I
this
know.
whole-
Hey, Dan,
okay,
when
long
you
story
grow
short-
up, when
no,
you grow up,
long story short, I'm going to school in August to better myself for the future.
Exactly.
So thank you for that. No,
Yeah.
but what am I? No, it's not even that. Not like a. But I mean, not living your means like being okay with just being like adequate. I mean, in the sense of.
no, I 100% get what
You know where I'm
yeah.
going. What my
Totally.
question was if you can be happy with little. And obviously money can help. Like, you know what the saying, like, you know, money doesn't buy happiness. That may be true, but being poor does not help, right? Like, there's a lot
Yeah.
of issues that come with that. But I guess the one thing that's, I don't know, for myself at least, for now I live within my means, and it makes sense for what I'm doing, right? I don't need to spend a lot of money. Base and Sweet works. I'm by myself. That makes everything makes sense about
Yep.
that. Eventually, down the line, have a wife, had kids, if that's hopefully right. At that point, then Base and Sweet doesn't work. Minimum wage doesn't work. I need something more than that.
Yeah,
And so, like, I guess going forward, that's what I mean, living within your means. Like, as far as now, is if I can, like, for me, I can be happy with very minimum. As I grow up, I'm gonna probably need some more things. But I always wonder, like, at what point, like, I guess with excess and minimum, at what point is it like too much? Are you getting nothing from it? Because I'm pretty happy with just not that much.
There's a curve.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a curve.
Okay. Go into
Well,
it.
it's
Maybe
more
like
it's
a
more
bell
about
curve,
it's more
wouldn't
about parenthood. Totally ripping this off from a book. It goes the benefit to your child with the amount of money you make, and it's basically a parabola curve where the more you make, the better your kids are. The more you make, the better your kids are, and then it gets to that basically the top of the parabola, and it goes, well, now it doesn't really make a difference. Like there's actually no difference whatsoever. You keep making money, but your kids are no better off, and then the parabola starts dipping because the more money you make, the more spoiled piece of shit your kids
Yeah,
are.
I was going to say that's
100
yeah.
and not 100% a thing. I'm a really big fan of Malcolm Gladwell. He's one of my favorite authors. I can't remember which book. It was David and Goliath, I think, like The Advantage of Disadvantage. Anyways, it's a good book, and I think that's the one it was in, and it explains that how like a Hollywood producer, he was trying to figure out how to properly raise his kids, and he said like, oh, I just realized how much you say like when you're in front of a microphone.
Okay.
It's a
Nothing
lot.
wrong with it. It's fine.
So he basically
None of us are that professional.
he basically said that I don't know how to raise my kids because it doesn't matter how much money I make and how well I do. I feel like I'm just giving them more of a disadvantage by giving them everything. And then, you know, Gladwell went into all the statistics on it. It's like, yeah, actually, this is why. And I know you don't really feel bad for a Hollywood producer, but that is the case, is that when you make a certain amount of money, it doesn't matter anymore. And the more you make then, the more you give your kids, the shittier they actually turn out. Not the shittier they turn out, but the harder it is to parent them, basically. Because instead of saying, it's a lot easier as a parent to say, I can't give you this. You know, like, I want this. I can't give you this. And then when you have the means and someone asks for something, your kid asks for something, you say, you don't have that excuse anymore. You can't say, I can't give you this. Now you have to say, I can, but I don't want to because it's better for you, son. You know?
That's fair.
And that's kind of the difference. So, I don't know. I'm not sure where I was going with that, but
No. I get the point. No, but understandably, it's at a point where you reach like a critical mass in a sense where you go, okay, you make this much money, your kids are doing better. After this point, if you go any further, you're going into the negatives now. You're coming back down.
Yeah, because
I make that. That makes sense.
You've
There's-
overindulged them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
you
you know,
spoiled
what?
And I'm not a parent. Can't comment on
I know-
this.
I know,
This is what
like-
I've heard.
like living in your means. I know some people that try to have sort of areas of happiness that are well beyond their capable means. I know a lot of girls will go out and, you know, purchase the high-end dresses, shoes, shopping bags, and stuff like that because they like to wear it and makes them look pretty and stuff like that. But in reality, they can't afford that shit. So they keep the tags all, you know, hidden and stuff like that, and they will return it within the grace period to get their money back.
Yeah.
And, you know, any time where you're reaching above and beyond what you're capable of, I always find that very, very detrimental. Right?
Go Rheal.
Go ahead.
No.
Oh,
I was
oh.
fucking around. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were like,
we
amen,
do that sometimes
amen.
in podcasts.
Oh, okay. Right?
Yeah.
I'm getting used to this.
It's true. No, we do.
Mostly me and Dan.
Yeah.
That's true. We do a lot of weird faces.
around.
I know what you mean.
above and beyond.
Yeah, and then
Oh.
and that
You reach
that
too
kind of
far.
it's just reaching way too far. You're spending stuff that you can't really afford.
That's how the economic crisis of 2008 happened. It was like, you can get a mortgage. Just because you can get a mortgage doesn't mean you should get a mortgage, right?
Or if you max out at this much, doesn't mean you should get.
Yeah, or like they're
Yeah.
like juggling credit card payments with other credit cards, and I'm just confused as hell on like why they think they can live a life like that.
I understand if you can't. I understand if you can't and things get extended behind your means, but you should, in my opinion, you should treat a credit card like a debit card. At the end of every month, you pay it off. If you can't pay off a credit card at the end of the month, you got to figure something out. You're fucked.
Yeah, interest. I remember the one. Actually, you know what, for me though, the biggest thing I remember, and especially like originally when I started living by myself, and just in general, just because and not in the way anything my parents did, but I was not the best with money, just because like I would be impulsive, and I still am to this day, to an extent with food especially.
You buy that coffee crisp at the No Frills, eh?
Oh my god, I
Oh,
love
yeah.
coffee crisp. That shit's my jam. But no, but
Sorry,
realistically,
go on.
No, I get
Sorry.
that. No, don't worry. But I truly like that's always my thing is that I enjoy that indulgence of food or something like that. So I was poor with money, incredibly at the start too, because I didn't work enough, because I was lazy.
I was the exact same with booze.
Yeah, right.
Like when it came to booze,
Yeah.
and I don't know, it's almost still the case, but when I was a teenager, it was like I pinch my pennies, but then when it came to like buying beer or anything to do with alcohol, anything, it was like all of a sudden I was the highest roller.
Yeah.
But you'd pay anything. You'd pay someone to go
It's
pull
something
for
you
you,
enjoy.
and it was just like you just I don't know. I guess that's the definition of addiction, really.
No, but like, but it's like any vice though. It's something you enjoy, so naturally you want to spend more money on it. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're like, this makes
But
sense.
you act
'cause
like a high roller.
You do, and you're like this. You know what? And I don't know. I do the same thing. Like for myself, at least. And I'll tangent here, but like for myself, like I enjoy video games. Like I enjoy and in those games, there's a ability to buy a skin. It makes no difference on gameplay. You don't play it.
No, I never understood that.
Right?
Actually.
You don't play. No, that's the thing. For me, you don't play better. Nothing is made better. But in my mind, I go, I enjoy this. And you know what? It's like $5. That's no problem for me. I can buy that, and all of a sudden you do that. But that mental or that mental trick you do over and over and over, every time something else comes up, you say, I enjoy this. I can spend money on this. Why not?
That is the mental. That's
right?
exactly
Because then you go,
it.
I enjoy this. It's worth it. And then you spend money
Yeah,
on
you
it.
just justified it to
of
yourself.
course. And so like you get you get into that, and it does make sense. But yeah, I lost my original point. I'll admit, because now we went on
You
a
were
tangent.
living on your own bad with money.
Oh, living on my own
Yeah.
bad with money, and then thank you for that. Living on my own bad with money, and then from there, I hit a point where rent came up, and I remember this. No, but rent came up,
Figure
and
out.
I remember calling my parents and being like, "I don't have enough for rent this month." I'm like, because I was like, I think I was like $300 off, right? And I'm sitting there, I remember calling my parents, be like, you know, what should I do? I remember, and it was like it was like the blunt lesson of, we won't help you.
Ooh.
No.
I honestly, I was just gonna say that would be the end of my rope. Like that, it's sad, but it's a pride thing. That is the last thing I would do is call my parents.
It was.
because of how I don't know how I was raised. Like even try to get home from Vietnam there, man, did it kill me to call my dad and tell him to go to the airport and help me figure it out.
Yep.
And it was like other people would do it, but he would probably be the best one to do it. And it's
you
just
don't
like
wanna-
it just sucked
It
to have
kills
to just sucked to have to call dad.
Yep.
Like that to me, it just sucks. And maybe that's just me, but man, like that is my last fucking straw.
No,
I'm
I
like,
get
that's
that.
the last thing I'll do.
No,
and
but-
then I did it, and I was like, yeah, well, he saved my ass, and he did. He saved my ass. And my auntie's like, Lackey really saved your ass. I'm like, yeah, he did, Tina. He really saved my ass.
And
You're right.
Well, it's the thing too about pride and humility, and at the moment,
It's all pride.
no, but I get that too. I'm the same way. Before I called my parents, I kid you not. I even thought to myself, like, okay, I can call the landlord, or I can go to the bank. There's a loan option. I can do that, and they wouldn't like anything, so my parents wouldn't know anything, so they would
Yeah.
not know that
Okay,
I
yeah.
was the son that's like, hey, I need a bit of a handout. I remember calling them, and it was like, and I hated every fucking minute of it, because my pride is a sense I want to be independent.
Yep.
Regardless of my faults, I want to be able to get by on me, even if it's by low ground getting by. I don't care. It's by me, my steam. No one else is mine.
Yep.
And the thing is with them, and I remember calling them, and I hated it. And when they talked to me, they said, "We will not give you money." From that point,
I commend them for that.
I do too now. And at the moment, and you know what it is? I never was angry at them. I'm like, okay, I understand. It's my mistake. I'll figure it out.
That's parenting.
And think from then on, I picked up more shifts. I started working more. Even though I'm a lazy fuck, I kept working more. And I forced myself to not be that way. Because I'm like, I don't like that about myself. I'll change it. I'll try to. I struggle with it still from time to time. But I actively work it. I actively work to improve it. And anyway, so I started picking up more and more shifts. And at this point now, like I remember my biggest thing, and it sounds to anyone else, I'm like, I remember when I first got my MasterCard to 0. For the first time,
feels good.
For the first time in over 2 years, I remember that I got it to 0.
Yep.
And I got to 0, and I sat there and I'm like, you know what? For anyone else who's like financially well off, like it's nothing. To me, I'm like, this is big.
No,
I'm like, I feel
not.
good. I'm like, because you know what? I made it to a point where I paid it off, and it's been a long time since I've done that, and I'm on my own, which means that no one helped me do that but me.
No,
I
sorry, I gotta clarify, because I did say that, you know, if you're not treating your credit card like a debit card, you're fucked. I get it though, and I'm not saying that I ever was not in that position. That was just my coming of God moment where I was like, I can't pay this off. I gotta fucking change something.
Same.
So I just want to clarify to say that if people can't pay off their credit card, I'm not saying that you're fucked. I'm saying that that's when I went, oh shit,
I'm fucked.
Like that, yeah.
I get that.
Because I totally get it. That's all I wanted to clarify. Sorry, go ahead,
I
Jayson.
don't know. I'm just saying, like, I agree with Dan's sentiment there. I think everybody reaches a point in their life where they kind of make the decisions like, hey, I can't continue on with this, or I do not want to be in this point anymore. Because I know Ray, when I did the interview with him, he couldn't pay for textbooks or something like that, and you were like, no, I don't want to be here ever again, right? And
It's embarrassing too. And you're like, I can't afford it.
yeah,
I'm an adult.
and you know what? It is.
It's true though.
Yeah, it's very sort of hurtful to your pride to I guess crawl. What feels like crawling back.
Yo,
to your
100%.
parents.
And you think to yourself, you're like, great, I'm the boomerang kid that crawled back to the mom and dad asking for help because I can't do it myself.
Yeah, and like when you move out, you know, for the first time, like, yeah, I'm gonna be independent. I'm gonna do this all by myself. And then when I did that, I realized I was still going home for dinner, you know, once a week. I would go home and drop off some stuff that I'd ask my mom to clean for me because I didn't know how to treat the fabric properly. And you know, even though I realized at some point where it's like, yeah, I'm trying to be independent and move out of my parents' place and stuff like that, but like I still need a lot of fucking help from them.
Yeah. I get that. No, it's and like it's similar. I remember when I originally left, but then on another vein, having dinner with your parents or like the one thing per week. I don't necessarily view it depending on their parents. I know for mine,
Once per week, I don't see as a problem.
that's not a problem. I know what it is. That's family connection. That's the fact that you're and more often
You're
than
allowed
not-
to skip a week. Can
You
I
are.
put that in there?
Oh, of course.
It's a big thing in my family. You're allowed to skip. I'm not going tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm allowed to skip.
Blasphemy.
No, I think that's but that makes sense though because it's my mom and dad always gave me they even said the same thing like you know what, especially for me mentally, that if you're not feeling it, if you don't want to come, you can tell us. That's okay. We won't take it offensively. I'm like, that's fair. But I always go because every week I like seeing them. They cook better than I ever
You get a
could.
free meal.
No, but they cook better than I ever could, and every time too, it brings me out of like, cause especially if I'm by myself too long, you get in a funk or you get in a little bit of a mood. Then you start to hang out with family or friends or like or loved ones, right?
No.
And then it brings you out of it, or it brings you out of any sort of funk. So I think it's always once per week. I don't think that's necessarily you being a boomerang. I think that's you caring about your family.
No, I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with going back for dinner once a week. I think there's a problem when it's an issue for the rest of the family where they're like, I can't believe you'd skip Sunday dinner. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I just wasn't feeling it this week, guys. So that's me. That's my family.
I get that.
My
But
family's nuts. Isn't every family?
But they go like, why
mine's
doesn't
more
he love
nuts.
us? Why doesn't he come for dinner? And that's why he isn't coming for dinner because he doesn't love it. It's like, no, I just don't want to come for dinner.
I'm not feeling it today.
It's like I'll always love you. It's just I don't want to go today.
Yeah. You're just not. That's the
You're
thing too. You don't need an excuse. You're just not feeling it.
I know, but it's like sometimes you give your parents an excuse. Do you ever use your wife as an excuse?
No, because I don't. Because I've seen that.
Don't say names.
Don't say it.
I've seen that, and I hate that. I hate that as an excuse. Like my wife won't let you. Well, they're not gonna ever listen to this podcast, or at least I hope so. Like my wife won't let let me put that in the garage for you. No, we're on the same page here, and I agree that I don't want this in my garage, or we're not coming to supper tonight because of this. Supper is very trivial. Like that's not a really important matter. But for bigger things, like something like,
Your dad wants to stow an RV at your place or something.
yeah, I
like
don't
that.
like see it's like hitting the head on
Oh.
nail on the
Oh,
head
is it
there. I
called
don't want to get into it, but that's exactly it. And it's like I know other brothers have used that and make their wives the bad guy, and to me that just drives me crazy. And guess who it drives crazy a little more? Brianna. Because if I use her as the bad guy with something I completely agree with that I don't feel like storing the boat seats, Dad. It's not what my garage is for. So you can't just like pin it on your wife. That to me is just, it's
It's a coward's move.
It's very cowardly. And now I just call my brothers a coward. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah,
But to me it just I cannot disagree with it more. It's like you are a united front. You're together in that. It's your house. It's your garage. You should portray that properly and say, no, we both don't want that. And most times it is for you to back behind your wife and go, ooh, well, actually my wife doesn't want it. So, sorry, Dad, my wife doesn't want it. Like that's bullshit. That's what.
I get that because you're hiding behind your wife now.
Yeah, that's exactly what
You're not
that is.
standing up for. You're like, I just don't want you here
It's-
because
you're not
of
standing
this
up to
reason.
you're not standing up to your parents. You're like, oh well, my wife, and then you make your wife the bad guy.
Yeah.
And who the hell does that help?
No
one.
And then she's the enemy, and all of a sudden you're like, and then she goes, "Why don't your parents like? They really don't like me, Reese. Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why. Because I made you the bad guy.
I made you the
So,
bad guy. You're the enemy, and it's like they still love me. No
Yeah,
problem with that.
yeah, I'm still going to dinner.
Yeah, no, I get that, but you're hiding behind someone. It's like you go to a dog park and the dog gets scared, come between the owner's legs. Same thing. You're hiding. You're going, no, it's her, not me. I mean, I'm totally okay with the idea. I love you. I'm okay with the idea.
I don't like that from a husband-wife perspective. And I
Separate.
know I've only been recently married, but me and Brianna have been together for almost 10 years, and that is one thing that's just like you can't throw her completely under the bus. I know that sounds obvious, but it's like you can't just no, it's her fault. It's her fault that you can't do this. No, it's your house, it's your garage, it's your living arrangement. You make decisions together. It's a team thing. So for you to just totally sewer someone just blows my mind. It's like, fuck. Would you do that to a coworker? Would you just go, well, I don't know. Kyle said you couldn't do it.
Yeah. Fuck you, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, it's like, hey, here's the bus. Have fun.
Yeah.
Under those wheels.
Back up.
Yeah, exactly.
I was kind of thinking a little bit on what Jayson said there, where it's like it provides an excuse instead of just saying no, and that's something I think the world really needs to work on right now. Is
Just saying
Being
no.
blunt.
Being
Being
blunt.
blunt and being honest.
Everyone
I
is
cannot agree
like,
more.
They're dancing around the wording. They're for the lack of a better term, pussyfooting around.
No, pussy. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
It's beating around the bush.
Beating around the
Or
bush.
beating the bush. Or beating off behind the bush.
Yeah.
Whatever you prefer.
Whatever you want to call it. It's like you just say, you just tell them up front as is, right? And I think that's very indicative of dating culture. From at least where
I wouldn't know.
from where I see it, because people
Motherfucker.
people get ghosted all the time and shit
No,
like
and that is one thing I'm super thankful for. I can't believe I was never part of it, but I could not believe a world where I can't believe a world. This is the world we live in, where someone just up and stops communicating. Like it's bad enough when you're on Kijiji. Like here's my comparison, okay? When you're on Kijiji and you're trying to sell something, and someone just stops texting you because they don't have the respect
to say
to say I'm no longer interested. Okay, so now times by 100, and I'm no longer interested in you emotionally, physically, or sexually. Like to me, it's like you are such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That like ghosting. That whole idea of ghosting. I never experienced it. I'm very lucky that I haven't experienced it because me and Brianna got together at the naive age of 18. We're lucky. I just can't fucking believe that people do that. they don't have any respect for you that they just stop texting you. That blows my fucking mind.
But it's cowardice. You don't want to be like, well, I don't want to text him. It's gonna be awkward. I don't want to hurt. And then you take the easy way out. And you go, I'm just gonna block them and just ignore them.
That's insane.
Or like,
I know, but I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm saying that's the rationale of a coward, though, is to be. And like I agree with you. Everything I've ever done.
seems
It's
like the
also
majority, though.
never ever text. Anything I've ever done, face to face.
Yep.
I will face you face to face and tell you something's wrong or it's not gonna work. I'm not gonna do it over text.
I've been broken up over email.
Oh,
That's hard. You know what? Actually,
you want a hug?
you know what? I realize I have to rephrase this because one relationship was literally them texting me being like, "Are we kind of over? Is this kind of it?" And then me just texting back, "Yeah." That was different. That was them opening with it. I was just agreeing with it at that point. But like,
Yeah, I've done that.
But
guess I'm good
anything
with
else
this.
though, if I initiate it, I'm like, let's meet. I'm not gonna hide behind a thing. It's like it sucks, and it really sucks
Hey,
for you.
or
It's
at
awkward.
least a call.
Oh no, but anything that's
At
more
least a call.
But when you hide and you so I'm just gonna ignore them. I'm like, you're a coward.
That's it. I'm just gonna ignore them. That is crazy to me.
I have a fantastic idea. The next time I break up with a girl, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hire a barbershop quartet. Sorry,
Quartet.
and they're gonna do like a telegram and do it that way.
You've got the AIDS. I'm sorry, it's not something more serious.
It's French for head.
Yeah,
So you need a quart of a head.
yeah. I think that's what it. But I
He's
really
gonna, he's
do
gonna
hate.
do a barbershop quartet for those who are
No, but
listening.
we got into the. Never mind. Go ahead.
But like I think people just need to be upfront about things. Like, hey, I had a great time on the date, but I don't think I find you sexually attractive.
Well, like you never use the word sexually in a real life conversation.
You just be like,
come on, man.
You'd be like,
come on, you never use that.
What you'd say is like, you know what?
You say I don't find you attractive, but
No.
to pull out the sex word, like, come on.
You don't make my.
You'd never do
No, but as
that.
cliche as it is, I remember for me at least, it was Tim Hortons parking lot. Essentially, it was all the conversation of
Breakup Central.
No, it was the
Heartbreak
case-
Row.
It was literally getting upstairs to be like, and then as we left, because I'll admit, even for myself, nervous and a bit of a bitch. So even in the restaurant, I didn't do it because I didn't want to like put her in that place and make her do it. And like, I don't know,
Break
And
up during dinner.
During Tim, I'm like, I want to finish my sandwich first. But I remember,
you want your panini. What kind of panini?
It was a good panini.
No, let's get into it. Have you ever tried DMT?
I-
Sorry, I had to do
know,
that
I
once.
appreciate it.
I had to do that
It's
once.
okay. But no, I remember we left, went to the parking lot, and then it just started with, we need to talk. That's it. And immediately, and it was me saying we need to talk, and then them followed up by, uh-oh. And then the end is there, but it's essentially just like, we should just be friends. And you're never friends. Let's be realistic. You're never friends. Essentially, it's a nice way to say we're done. But at least though it's to the point where there's no ambiguity. There's no like, hey, why did they stop? What is this something? It's like, no, we're done. That's it.
It's odd to just stop responding. That is so
No, it's
odd.
not. No, but it's not even odd. It's common. But
I know it's common, but
the
it's
thing
still
about
odd.
It is that it just shows your character. It shows what
Yeah,
character.
it does. It does. You're right.
Because you're like, fuck it. I don't care about you. I'm gonna just ghost because it's easier for me than now. I don't care about your suffering. It's easier for me.
I'm mad enough about Kijiji. I just can't imagine on a personal level.
Yeah, I get that.
It's like when people are like, hey, I'm interested in your piano,
Oh,
and then they
don't
stop
even-
answering.
I know.
It's like,
Yeah.
fuck you motherfucking piece of shit.
I remember. Well, the thing is, I took a guy for a test drive. I remember the one time he's like, I took a test drive in my car trying to sell it. He's like, I like it. I like the car. Next time, he's like, I want to go for one more. Took it out again. He's like, I really like it. He's like, yeah, I'd like to make an offer. He's like, but you know, I just gotta wait for this to clear. I'm like, okay. 2 days later, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? He's like, I'm sorry, I'm not interested anymore. I'm like, come on.
Or, hey, you.
Actually, you know what? I'm mistaken. Sorry.
It's not important. No,
I
it's not
but
important.
He technically did tell me he wasn't interested, but that was after 2 days. He's like, yeah, I'm totally into buying. Just give me 2 days and I'll have the thing ready and we're good to go. Like, confirmed.
Are you sure this is about a car?
Yeah, it is, honestly.
Yeah, totally into you, Dad. Yeah.
What?
Did you say
Is
that?
it about a car?
No, it genuinely is.
Oh,
It was my Ford Fiesta.
okay.
2014.
Is it a Ford Fiesta or is it your Fiesta?
It was a Ford Fiesta.
It was a.
No,
It was a
my no. If you're gonna go to like my love,
Your
life-
loins
No,
were spicy.
My loins would be more like Sierra or
Okay.
Sahara, desert.
Dry.
Oh, she drives a bone.
I was just thinking, what about in a business sense then? With the whole, you go for an interview and they're like, we'll contact you later, and you just get nothing.
Same.
Like,
Same.
Just tell me I'm not.
totally
Don't tell
agree
me I
that's
don't have the
bullshit.
job. Just tell
I've
me I
been
don't have the
ghosted
job.
by Indigo.
That's
Really?
No,
That's what I
I
love to
picked
do.
a
That's what I love to
company.
do when I was manager and hiring at the time. Is when I made my decision on who I was hiring, I gave everybody I interviewed a call back. It's like, hey, I decided to go with someone else. I'm sorry, but thanks for showing interest.
That's
Good
the
for
right
you.
thing to do.
And that's the thing. Even that, it's like it's kind of awkward. You're like, I'm just gonna not talk to same thing.
As much as I hate patting Jayson on the back, good for you, Jason. That's the
Thank
right thing
you.
to do.
You piece
Can
of
you
shit.
physically
It's
do
rare.
it? Can you
It's-
physically do it?
nope.
I'm so starved for human contact.
It's
We
rare.
were out in the
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah, I just
I
think
took all the
people
sun
just
from
need to be
you,
able to.
Son of a bitch.
Everybody needs to be able to express their emotions more.
Through song.
No, that's what I will say. That's immediately what drew me to construction. Not drew me, but that's what got me hooked. Was after going through university, and not that engineering was all that insanely sensitive, but still, just being on campus, there were a lot of sensitivities about everything. And then my first day with my construction company, and it was like, move the fuck out of my way or you're dead. I'm like, well, I really like this. I do. I know a lot of people might not, but I immediately loved it. I'm like, oh my God, you can just
Speak
say
your
what
mind.
you
You
think
can
and
speak
think
your
what you
mind.
say. This is incredible that you don't have to have any bullshit. Obviously, as you go along, there's little games and little bullshit, but for the most part in construction, you can say what you think and not be slapped on the wrist for, oh, you didn't approach that properly. You didn't say the right words. It's for the most part, you can just say what you think, and personally, I'm in a little piece of heaven.
You know what's interesting about that? That fits for you, but it also fits on personality level.
Yeah. It was a good fit. It was
But
a good fit.
if you have thick skin and confidence, then that fits with you. Because you go,
Yeah.
okay, no bullshit, this is good. But
No,
if,
no.
if you're part of the insecure crowd who goes, I'm worried about how it's gonna make me feel, then yeah, it's not for you. And I know construction. I remember the same thing when we got on the work site. I remember the one guy. I remember at one point he called me. It's like get your fat ass up the stairs. And I'm like, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Like he's not polite, but he's not wrong.
Honestly, most times, that's actually what you have to think is he's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong. Oh, I remember. No, I remember sitting
Dude,
there.
what he say is true.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, doesn't matter how
My
rude
fat
it
ass
was.
When I,
was slow
when
up
I
the
stop
stairs.
jiggling, I'll give him a
Yeah,
word.
yeah, exactly.
To be fair, though, they gave me way too much drywall at once to try to pull up. But at the same time,
You weren't doing enough meth.
yeah, it's true. Oh, okay, that's one other thing. Yeah, the drug use is a bit rampant on those. We don't talk about that though. Yeah, that's because we don't want to tangent too much.
Drywall, meth.
But
living within your means.
Living within your means. You know what it is? Though? It's conversation.
Rheal,
always
bring it all
goes.
back. Bring it back.
Or can I start a new thing?
You can start. You can
No, I
go.
was going to say the living within your means, I always find it interesting when people start making more money and their means go up. And then it's still almost like a living paycheck to paycheck, but everything in your life is just a higher quality.
It's like you build more roads, people are going to use those roads. You just keep building them.
yeah, you always
and
need
then
more roads.
They're going to keep
Wow.
using them.
Or more people buy cars
It's-
because there's
with-
more roads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With cities, when you build more roads, people use those roads.
Yeah. So
And that sounds really hippie-ish, but it's true.
no, well, it's just the idea of like right now could be driving in
Poverty line in Canada is
18,000. There you go.
18,000.
Oh, so I'm not poverty line.
Poverty-
I'm about.
We just
yeah, I'm-
received,
in that
we
pot.
received
I'm
new
like
information.
36.
18,000
Oh,
is the
you're
poverty
crushing it.
line. So
in
Oh,
Saskatchewan.
so I'm not doubling. Oh, actually, I'm doubling the poverty line.
This boy's living.
Good
in
for
style.
me.
I was gonna say, check your privilege.
My privilege, though, is the fact that I make everything my way.
And you were born pale and with a dick.
I was born pale because I suffer from albinoism, and I'm actually black.
You're not black.
On all levels except for physical,
No,
I'm a black man.
No, man.
You should see all of his
Are you-
personal representation of himself that he chooses.
Every video game I play black man because I believe in one level I am that.
Say this.
What do you
Dan,
want?
for the record, Dan's not black.
I could be.
I'm
What's
just
the,
gonna,
like,
I'm gonna
the
slap a
internal
picture
thing?
up on the video
Don't.
podcast.
No, they already have the picture of my face. I am the palest. I'm the palest of them all my friends. But I believe.
Rejecting his.
No, I guess I couldn't technically
beliefs,
say that.
like
But I know.
rejecting his
I enjoy their
emotional-
culture.
There's some weird
Yeah.
trends.
There's a lot of things about their culture I enjoy, or just
right.
the fact that
Something
like
along those lines.
there's a lot. There's a lot. I guess it's more of an
Some real
admiration
estate
than
agents.
Throw
anything.
buzzwords at it and go.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, then you're worried about saying the wrong things. I don't know if black is appropriate. Is that appropriate?
I don't know anymore, dude.
All right, let's just double back to living your means.
Yeah,
Let's avoid
I don't
this.
want to get into it.
Let's avoid this.
So yeah, so like, if your car works and it drives,
Auschwitz. How did that happen?
I didn't go there. I went to Dachau. It was wild. It wasn't wild. It was horrible. I shouldn't even say
so
wild. It was
Ray,
horrible.
I mean, like if you can afford a big fancy
Oh,
car,
Jason's really trying
but-
here.
yeah, no, thank you.
but
Jason.
you know, you decide to drive your reliable car just because it fucking works. I mean, that's what.
Yeah, but then so
That's-
it's like
that's a good
it gets
point.
you from point A to point B. It does its job, and you can rely on it. But then you start going like, oh man, it only has a cassette player. I'd really love a USB plug-in or a charger port, and all the new features like, oh, these new ones have ABS and automatic stop and traffic control, and it can half
Yeah.
drive itself on the road. And you're like, oh, I want these features though, and now I have the money that I could throw.
Just because you have the money doesn't mean you have to buy it.
True.
Like that's with Brianna's car. She has a 2009 G5, Pontiac G5,
Yeah.
and it's a nice little water beetle. It gets around town. It does great. It's fine, and even then you hear like, when are you getting a new car? When are you getting a new vehicle? When are you gonna upgrade? It's like, why? There's nothing wrong with this car. I don't fucking understand why you constantly need to upgrade. That blows my mind. It's like, no, it doesn't totally blow my mind because it seems like that's kind of the cycle you're in. It's like, no, you can get better, so you better get better.
It's catching up with the Joneses a little bit,
Yeah, but why?
but
It's the same thing with like cell phones and stuff like that, right?
Actually, yeah.
My brother will swap phones every year, every other year or something like that. And I'm on 3 years now on my phone. I just recently dropped it. There's a big ass crack going across the front of it now. I'm like, it still works fine. I'll probably keep it for another year or so.
And cell phone plans are shitty.
yeah. But I was gonna say the kind of the opposite of that is it's not so much that it's working and it's doing its job. There's also the personal enjoyment out of it, where it's, if I got this newer vehicle, I would enjoy driving so much more. And there's just, and I know it's not a big thing
would
to
you?
you. For some people, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I'm doing my work and I'm driving an old 98 3-ton truck versus a brand new 2015 3-ton truck.
Yeah.
Holy shit, is it so much better. And if I was doing that day in, day out as my job, and they go, well, you can buy the $5,000 old truck and make it work for a few years.
I get that as your job, but from point A to point B, like you said, point A to point B.
Yeah, but it's, if you enjoy driving and you enjoy the experience, and it's some people, cars are a very meaningful part of their life.
Yeah, I can see it as like the whole mattress thing. Like you spend the most time on your mattress and
Right.
your car.
So yeah, the car thing, I would definitely agree with cell phones. It's like, yeah, it might seem a little crazy to do it for year from year, but we use our cell phones so fucking much that.
And they arbitrarily slow down after 2 years
Yeah, they do. But I mean, like even with my car,
because of the government.
Damn,
my car, I waited until the engine seized up
you blew that on purpose.
a little bit, but you know,
Wouldn't get an oil
I
change.
yeah. Well, no, it was leaking a lot more than I anticipated.
Dude, this is
But
an
the-
insurance fraud awaiting to
Buckets of
happen.
tears.
I didn't go through insurance.
Buckets of love.
I sold it to Ray's dad.
And we
Marcel,
used
hey
We
Ray.
needed the body and the.
You just wanted the body.
No, it needed the clean slate because the other one we had.
You just wanted the clean slate.
Yes.
Sorry.
You're trying to make this dirty, but it's not
yeah,
working.
it's not working.
What did we take? Oh, that was the old ES. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna call it there. It's been a
Yep.
fun little thing here. I thank you for joining us, Stefan.
Appreciate it.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I hope you have fun, and maybe we'll get you on another time.
I hope so.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much again,
Thanks.
guys. And
See
we'll
you
catch
down.
later.
Bye.
Yeah. Dan says bye. All right. Bye, guys.
Still not the song.
It plays a. It
That
plays,
is the song.
It plays a different outro.
Oh no.